Continue on I-19 north for 16 miles.
Come on in, you guys. Come on in, you guys. We're going to discuss what took place this morning, this afternoon. The Nancy Guthrie search down in the borderlands of Mexico, Arizona, Mexico. So, yes, I know a lot of you came along for the ride, and I really did my best down there. Drove down from Tucson last night in the dark. I did a live stream on the drive down, which had a lot of people in the stream as we were driving down. Sort of an interesting drive, but if you send some money to my PayPal, which really blows me away, but you sent some money to my PayPal, and I was able to find a Motel 6 down there. They had the motorcycle in the back of the truck, and I couldn't choose just any hotel. It has to be something where I can park right in front of, and then watch the bike, because a lot of reports of bikes getting stolen. But yeah, thanks for the hotel room, you guys. Really appreciate that. The chat did that. And then, yeah, I had a Motel 6, but I bring a sleeping bag. I don't actually sleep in the bed, so I sleep on the bed in my own sleeping bag with my own pillow. So anyway, so got up this morning and I tried to do a stream from the border, from the entry point. A lot of people coming in, going in, and but I think the cellular signal from Mexico interferes with the cellular signal in the United States. I don't know. So we went over to a park, and we did a live stream from the park. Got a lot of good information. I put out my email address, my Yahoo email address. Sorry for the glare here. Man, maybe that'll help a little. So yeah, I got a lot of tips in my email. So including some addresses. So you always got to be careful following anonymous tips in email, but headed over to some of these addresses, and I did. This was offline. This was off of the stream, but I headed into some of these addresses. Take a look. Some of them are sent to my email. But anyway, I didn't see anything there. So then we went to the border. This is where everybody's telling me, Jim, go to the border, search the border. Nancy probably taken by a cartel, Russian mafia, whatever. Take her down to the border, hold her in a house till they have their ransom, set her loose somewhere in the desert, and the kidnappers would head for Mexico and out of the clutches of U.S. law enforcement. Which it's a good theory. I mean, it's as good as anybody's theory, right? So that was the theory we were on today. So I went down to the border, unloaded the motorcycle, and what I saw really shocked me. Okay, first I loaded, and Border Patrol had eyes on me the whole time, because I like next to the border on a hill where everybody could see me, everybody could see my truck. Border Patrol headed straight there and made contact with me. I told them, I says, yeah, I'm here from California. I'm searching for Nancy Guthrie, and the guy says, "Oh, go for it." I says, "Hey, you guys gonna watch my truck?" He says, "Your truck, it's the safest spot in America. We got eyes on you." So, and I could see a Border Patrol up a little ways up the wall and a little ways back the wall. It's the first time I've ever actually been to the border wall, which it's on my last stream. So if you want to take a good look at the border wall, I went to the wall and I stopped. There's a door there. There's a big, beautiful door with a lock. And but the border wall is very interesting. All barbed wire, watched like a hawk. Border Patrol all over the place. And so yeah, they're they've got a difficult job. And so I rode into the BLM land, sort of into the desert, and it really looked like a dead end to me out there. And so I went to the places where everybody's telling me to go. The houses, the neighborhoods right along the border. So headed down into those neighborhoods. And if you look at the stream, you can watch the stream. Some of you went along for the ride. And, I still think this is as good as any that someone would be holding somebody hostage. There are houses down there, you guys. So, I've been to Oakland, I've been to some depressed areas of the country, but these houses along the border, right next to the border, so the border wall is here. On the other side of the wall are these neighborhoods, just a stone's throw away. These houses are built of solid brick, stacked brick, and every window, every door has like these bars, these impenetrable bars. Some of these houses, they have these impenetrable bars. Even if you look up on the roof, there'll be like the roof vents. There's bars on the roof vents. Like, who would put bars on your roof vents? To get into, you'd have to go in the roof vent and then crash through the ceiling to break into somebody's house in this poor section of town. So, those houses are very suspect to me. And there's, not every one is that condition. Not every house down there has these bars on the windows. And it looks like, literally, it looks like a prison. Like these could literally be like prison cells. You put somebody in there, they can't get out. So, I did my best to survey each one of these houses along the border. So, and then, I recorded what I could, recorded the vehicles, really took the best look. I was calling out the name for Nancy, which, everybody's interested in this case, really is taking on sort of America's grandmother, and then it's going, what is it? It's going on, going to go to 3 weeks now. This is getting serious, people. This is getting serious. So, I went all around. I think I was being streamed by there's a couple of other streamers that had picked up my feed, and they were streaming my feed. And a lot of people are commenting. I love the comments, but bottom line, we didn't find her. We looked very carefully. Up and down each street, because you'd think, so the border is here. All of these sort of these neighborhoods are, I know it's called sketchy, but there's some sketchy looking houses in there with, just bars on the window. Some, a lot of people are very, very nice, waving, which is great. But then some of these houses are, they definitely look less than legit. I got some guy merging here that doesn't know how to merge on the freeway. Got to pay attention. It's an older person. You got to cut him a lot of slack, right? We'll all be there one of these days. So, yeah. So we drove around through these neighborhoods, doing a careful survey, and I was looking for anything very suspicious. I did when I went on top of the one mountaintop. As I drove up to the top of the hill, there was a guy came out and he saw me, and he ran and jumped in his car and took off like as fast as he could. So I don't know if he has anything to do with this case, or if he just thought I was law enforcement or something. But I don't look like law enforcement. I have a red jacket on, a red motorcycle outfit on. So I can't imagine he thought it was law enforcement. But he jumped in his car and took off as fast as he could. And he left his door open, which is crazy, right? He left his door open and just took off as fast as he could. I don't know, maybe he had to, I don't know where the heck he was going. But yeah, so I surveyed very carefully. This would be the area east of Nogales, closest to the border. And if you see the video, I talked to this on there. Very interesting. A lot of friendly people, but some very, I mean, I went by this guy. I tried to talk to him. He just stared at me like I don't know what his problem was. I mean, I didn't mean him any harm, but he's staring at me with just bullets in his eyes. So, yeah, he's out washing his car or something like that. I mean, I just commented, hey, that's a nice Jeep. And, but yeah, he's a little suspect. But, you know, you never know. Anyway, so I wanted to get down and search the border. And you know what? I did it. I went down, I looked everywhere I could. And you know, also one thing I'm looking for, which you guys got to think about, is I think what's going to be a key to this case. You know, they're looking right now, they're looking for gloves here and gloves there, that sort of thing. But what's key to this case is going to be the backpack, okay? If we can't find Nancy right off the bat, we got to find the backpack. The backpack is the next clue. And everybody wants to think, everybody sees a video of the intruder. It's the scariest video I've ever seen in my life. And you see the video and you see this person with this backpack. And it's full of stuff. And you got to think to yourself, what is in that backpack? Right? What is this person carrying in the backpack? And I can tell you what he's carrying. I think I know what he's carrying in his backpack. He's carrying a complete spare set of clothes, okay? So he's got the backpack, he's got his shirt on, his pants, he knows there's a camera. As soon as he grabs Nancy, he's got maybe hair on him or skin cells, I don't know what they test for. And he's gonna change his clothes that he brought with him in that backpack, stuff the clothes he had on into that backpack, and then dispose of the backpack. So I don't know. That's another theory I'm sort of going on. So I'm headed back to Tucson. I'm headed back to Tucson now. I searched the border as best I could. You know, I was hoping for a better result, but I searched the border just as best as I could. Now I'm heading back to Tucson. And I really want to concentrate on that backpack. You know, it's been 3 weeks. Dumpsters have been dumped. Trash has been collected from the neighborhoods. So it could be out of the area already, or it could be stashed behind a bush, stashed in a creek, stashed in a riverbed, thrown on the side of the road. So as I search for Nancy, I'm also going to be searching for this backpack. Of course, I should have been searching for the backpack the whole time, which I was, but we just happened to have this idea that he had the clothes in the backpack, and then he changed clothes. And I know, like I say, I don't think the person that actually kidnapped her is holding her. What it looks to me like, he was hired to do the job, and he was hired to do the job, and he happened to go to Walmart, buy the equipment, buy the backpack, buy the clothes off the sale rack, supposedly. JLR did a good job going down to Walmart and looking. So this backpack is actually behind glass. You have to like ask somebody to unlock the case to get the backpack. So I think that's a good lead. But yeah, so I'm headed back to Tucson, and so tomorrow is probably going to be a search in the mountains to the west. So hopefully I can get a signal over there in the mountains to the west. Now, if I don't have a signal, I won't be able to go live over there. But, and then, you know, eventually, I hate to say it, but eventually I'm going to have to go back to my regular life. And I really want to find a conclusion to this case before I go back to the regular life. But, yeah, JLR is at Nancy's right now, so yeah, I'll probably head back over there. But anyway, you guys, just want to give you a recap of what happened today along the border. I searched the border. Everybody says go to the border. I looked for the spot. I looked at the spots that were sent to my email. I appreciate you guys sending those tips. I searched those tips that were sent, and I surveyed all those very interesting neighborhoods. Could be something down there. I'm still not convinced that, this isn't the area. I searched all around Nancy's house. I searched that very well. I searched the creeks, I searched the riverbeds, I searched the tunnels. I looked at empty houses. I did circle after circle after circle. I was out there by myself. I never saw a police officer out there while he was searching. Now, you go to the border, there's border patrol everywhere. But yeah, so I really did my best near Nancy's house. I did my best by the border. I was on the motorcycle all day. Used a full tank of gas. I had like a couple thousand people riding along with me, which is crazy. You probably all got motion sickness from the helmet cam. Which I know I was watching Mel's stream and he says he wants to buy me a GoPro. I don't know if you could link the GoPro to the phone and live stream the GoPro. I'm not sure, but no, I don't have a drone. Were you in the military? The question is, Jim, were you in the military? I was not in the military, but I've been an outdoorsman all my life. So, and then I've done some tracking. I've lived out of doors, night hike, slept in mud puddles when it was raining. I had no other place to sleep. Being out on the field is I feel at home out on the field. Honestly, you go back after you're out here doing this, you go back home and you go inside the house and it feels like you're really closed in. You know what I mean? This is. Were you, Jim, were you homeless before? There's a question in the chat. Were you homeless before? No, I've never been homeless. I've never been homeless, but I got a lot of sympathy for the people who are. And like I say, somebody's watching from California. So, yes, I drove 14 hours here from California, you guys. I saw Savannah put out the call, if anybody can come and help. So I thought, you know what? Let's go do what we can do. And, I met up with JLR and, he's sort of the linchpin. I don't know. I told him, I said, JLR, you're sort of in charge of this whole thing. He doesn't want to claim any sort of authority, which of course there is none, but all the information seems to go to JLR. And JLR is, super friendly guy, makes contact with everybody, and then he's free to distribute any sort of information he has. And then, you can stream his feed, you can, he's very approachable. You go up and talk to him anytime you want. So I met up with JLR right away, and he liked the idea of this border search. I was really hoping on this border search. I mean, this was while I was searching for Nancy around her house and Annie's house by the Circle K, and doing all of that. I just something was telling me to go to the border. So, I went down there, I gave it my best shot. I searched the neighborhoods I thought I should search. I went as far as I could without, getting into any sort of trouble. And, somebody's posting, Jim, glad you're back safe and sound. Yes, thank you so much. I mean, everybody was telling me in the chat, be safe, don't do anything stupid, which I tried not to. I tried to just go past. I mean, for anybody to attack me or anything, they would have been waiting. You'd have to be waiting for me because, you go past somebody's house and before they know what's happening, you're already gone. So, somebody says, Jimmy did great. Thank you so much. I'm doing the best I can. And, it's a big area. It's a big area out here. And this is a real mystery, you guys. This is a really hard one. How does America's grandmother just go missing in the middle of the night and not leave a trace? And the only trace is this scary video of some crazy person at her front door. I mean, what is that, right? So yeah, so I'm down here to try to help her out. I mean, she doesn't deserve that. Be dragged out of her house in the middle of the night. So like I say, my any sort of tips, ideas, I know you put them in the chat, and then the chat sort of disappears, but you can comment on any of my previous videos. I always read all the comments. Have you watched Donna? So somebody's talking about the psychic Donna. You know, I was contacted privately by someone connected to her, and I was given a location to go hunt. Now, I didn't. You got to be very careful when your email, somebody says, "Hey, come here," and I don't know where the heck this is. I don't know who the heck is sending these emails. So I did check it out, but I didn't do it on the stream because I didn't want to say, "Hey," I don't want to let people know, "Hey, I'm coming," or "Hey, I'm going." But I did check out a location mentioned by the psychic that people are mentioning. So I'm not saying that there's nothing there, but I just wasn't able to, you know, I wasn't able to make a successful recovery at that location. So I'm sorry, you know, I did my best, but you also have to be, if someone says, "Hey, go to this address," and I don't know who the heck is sending this, you know, so yeah, you have to be smart, and you have to be careful. And but you also have to take a certain amount of risk, because I mean, if you don't take risk, you sit on your couch, and you know, I would just sit on my couch and not get out of my safe zone. You know, you get out of your safe zone, and then that's when you really feel good about yourself. So I would recommend everybody, you know, get out of your safe zone, and then you know, do what your heart tells you to do. So that's what I was doing. I was doing what my heart tells me to do, and I was hoping, like I could tell you guys, I was hoping that this guardian angel would guide me. They put a hand on my shoulder and push me one way, or push my shoulder the other way, to take me to a successful conclusion of this search and recovery. So everybody's asking for my PayPal. So I'm sorry, it's in the description of my last live stream. So, but just if you want to send $5 for gas, that's fine. But I don't want anything more than just a very small amount. You know, you can be helping that way. By give me some gas money, that's fine. Buy me a cup of coffee, that's okay. But yeah, like I say, I'm not monetized, so I'm not making money on this. This is just a charitable event. But I know people want to help, and then people did. JLR's team, the team JLR sent me $85 in PayPal, and I got myself a Motel 6 last night, which was great. And yeah, in Nogales. So that is that's sort of a recap, and then future plans. It's still sticking to sort of the outlying areas of the town, searching in the middle of town. So there's traffic, there's people everywhere. I'm not going to find anything there unless it's somewhere nearby a crime scene and you're looking for the backpack. So I think the backpack could be a real key to this. I might try to do another boots on the ground search of just locating the backpack. You know, think about trash locations, you know, people throwing things off the side of the road. You know, when I was in the creek bed the other day, I saw these bags stuffed behind some bushes, and it looked to me like, you know, okay, it's a homeless stash or something, but you know, this is when you have to like really take a look at things you would just dismiss. So yeah, so people in the chat were asking me, go to this Donna psychic person. So I checked it out, I'm not a believer in psychics and map dowsing and remote viewing and all that sort of mumbo jumbo. But I have heard of an event where someone was found, and then that's where the psychic told them to go. I don't know. So when you're in this situation, just grasping at straws. I mean, one place is good to look as another, right? You're down on the border. Someone tells you, hey, there's this certain place on the border. Go look at that. You're already down there looking. So why not scratch that off the list, right? Like I say, when I was searching for poly class years ago, I don't know, it's 20 years ago, the 90s. Like I say, we showed up at the sheriff's office. Man, they had big maps. And they had people assigning volunteers, and they're highlighting off areas and sending people out, people coming back, and then letting people know where they searched. That's a search I would like to have seen happen here right away. Unfortunately, I don't know. Not everybody has. Not everybody has the wherewithal to organize something like that. And I think when the family's famous and then there's so much media attention, maybe it makes it even more difficult to get volunteers to do that. I don't know. So yeah, so we'll just keep on going here. I think I'm a little ways out still from probably Nancy's house and JLR's location and all of that. But yeah, we're traveling down the road back from Nogales. It's really not that big of a town. As far as there's a lot of housing that is further away, but I really tried to concentrate on all of those border houses. You always hear about these these houses along the border where maybe there's things are moved from those locations, and it certainly looked like there certainly looked like a possibility down there. But these houses look like prison cells, and it doesn't I've been to Oakland, I've been to East LA, but it's a different situation. Like in those towns, there'll be the front door there'll be a cage in the front door, where you go to the front door and then you go and you lock yourself in a cage, and then you open the front door. So it's like a cage in front of the front door. So, and it's more like residential that way, where you go in, you lock yourself in the cage so nobody can bum rush you into the house, and then you unlock your front door. But these places, they just have bars on the front door. I mean, it is like barred with padlocks and chains. And the windows, there's no safety latches. It's like these windows, they're like welded on, these very thick steel bars. Not something you're gonna buy at Home Depot. This stuff is like they're out there welding themselves in. And then what's inside these houses, right? Come on. You're in sort of a rundown section of town, and your house isn't worth, I don't know, $50,000, but yet you're barred in like you have gold bars inside. This would be a perfect place to keep a kidnapped victim, unfortunately. And so I really tried to survey those as best I could. I don't know what to do. If they have this sniffer, this Bluetooth sniffer that we're hearing about, I would fly that thing in that neighborhood. I would go down there and fly this Bluetooth sniffer in that area where there's the houses with the bars on the walls. So I think that's an idea. So anyway, Nogales, very interesting. I'd never been to Nogales before. downtown is pretty nice. I mean, everything's open. I think there's a lot of traffic to Nogales, being that it's port of entry. Let me get off right here. I'll move it off the freeway just for a second. It's a perfectly safe place to pull over. Yeah. Highway patrol going by. I'd give them a wave, tell them everything's okay. Anyway, you guys, so that's the situation. I've been on this stream 30 minutes. I'm really tired. I was on the motorcycle all day long. And I'll go through a little bit of the chat with you guys if you guys want to post something in the chat. Appreciate so I'm reading the chat and I'll respond. Appreciate your efforts, Jim. You're a good human. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm doing the best job that I can. Check under the bridge. I'm not sure which bridge. Repeat which bridge. What's next for you? Any ideas? West of her house. I went north. I went north. So let me just, let's see. Donna is gifted and quite accurate in mapping. You know, there's more psychic stuff. Yeah. You know, I did the best I could on the psychic thing. So what's next? I searched north. I searched south. You know what? I want to search west. Okay. I'm not sure how much of a signal there is over there. I may not be able to stream from there tomorrow, but I'll give it my best shot. If I can, I'll definitely let you know and we'll go live. And there's more comments. Rooting for your Jim. You're fine, man. Thank you very much. Lot of white vans in the lot near that barn you went to. You know, I'm always suspect of white vans. I mean, you see white van, you say, you know, I'm very suspect of white vans. So yeah, I did pay a special attention to. Please say hello to me. Hello to Lada. Or I'm sorry. Yeah. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. So glad you're on my channel. And let's see, sorry. Thank you for all you've done so far. At least you are doing more than anyone else. You know, everybody's doing what they can. I mean, thank you very much. I am doing this, but, you know, just offering encouragement, being there, being interested in the case, bring attention, that helps a lot too. I did God's work today. Thank you so much. I did my best. So you guys, I'm going to get back on the road. Let's go with the chat a little while. Hello again from the 559. Are you heading back to Tucson? Heading back to Tucson. Heading that way in a 10 horsepower mini bike. Good luck. Be careful around the Breaking Bad trailer. Yeah, now let's talk about that trailer, the Breaking Bad trailer. Now I was on the ridge right next to the border, and down below the ridge, there's a little flat area, and it's surrounded by a chain link fence. The chain link fence has barbed wire all around the chain link fence, and in the middle is a trailer. And so, I mean, what the heck do they have in that trailer? And there's guard dogs guarding this trailer. Now, I don't know, you know, I don't know. You want to live your life that way where you're inside a prison camp. I mean, this looked like Stalag 13. Honest to God, you had the chain link fence, barbed wire, guard dogs. What the heck is in that trailer? You know, I can't go busting in there. Can't go all ninja and go over the fence at night and slip the dog a tranquilizer. I'm not going to do that, but the Bluetooth sniffer, you know, that's the only thing I can think of is get the Bluetooth sniffer out there, right? Nothing good in that trailer, that's for sure. FBI thinks she's alive. You know, I think she's alive too. I think there's back channel negotiations on this ransom. And then if someone's asking 6 million or however many million or 1 million, what's 3 weeks to a kidnapper? What's a month? You know, the longer they hold her, the you know, the more desperate they're gonna pay. So yeah. So I don't know the situation there. I'm not privy to all that information. All I can do is get out here and search, and then hopefully by searching, by driving these neighborhoods, the camera, I got this big camera on my helmet. I mean, there's no doubt you are on candid camera when Exploring with Jim comes by in his motorcycle. By putting that, you know, by going through these neighborhoods, putting them on blast, maybe that puts some pressure on some people. You know, if a kidnapper's there and they see this guy drive by with his big shirt that says, if you see something, say something, and he's on YouTube Live and he's videotaping everything in 4K, you know what? Hopefully that puts some pressure on. So I wish you had a stabilizer. You know, me too. I'm gonna have to look into GoPro, and then maybe linking the GoPro to, because I want to do this live. I don't want to just strap on a GoPro, do the search, and then upload it, because the chat is so helpful. You know, you can take off the helmet and you can read the chat, and you know, people have ideas, and I can bounce things off of the chat, because the chat really has you know, you guys are home, you guys are thinking, you guys are on the computer, you guys are helping out, you guys are offering encouragement and then words of warning. So yeah, so I'm not sure how to get the stabilizer. I tried to hold the camera a little bit calmer today, but as you can see, I'm always looking around everywhere. There goes Sheriff, just wanted to wave to Sheriff, everything's fine. Let's go to the chat. $1 million reward. You know, I love that idea of Savannah offering $1 million award for somebody. You know, I'm not in it for the award, but I think if you offer $1 million, I remember that Mel Gibson movie. His son got kidnapped, and then they were asking a ransom, and he says, "No, I'm not going to pay you the ransom. I'm offering that amount of $20 million for you, dead or alive." I mean, that might shake things up. A bigger reward. So somebody says drop your PayPal for people to donate. My PayPal is in the description of my previous live stream. So it's yeah, Jim's so glad the prison house didn't capture you down there. These are some scary houses. They got you inside that house. You ain't getting out. And this is like, it's like each house is a prison cell. And then there's, you know, not every block has those, but on some of them there are prison cell houses, and they're maybe on the edge of the desert. So, and then right behind them is the border wall, and then very close to that is the prison cell house. So, you know, if I was thinking tunnels or, you know, any sort of nefarious activity, the prison cell houses are the first places I'd look. You know, let's fly the Bluetooth sniffer over those houses. You were nervous watching me. Sorry to make you nervous. You know, I was, you know, trying to be as safe as I could, but still getting out there and getting boots on the ground. Why would cartel want her, and wouldn't they be in communication with Savannah? You know, I don't know why anybody would want anybody, but I know the cartels used to be making a lot of money through human smuggling, and I do know in some countries there's organized crime that is their sole business, is kidnapping. And when they do kidnapping, if you pay, they release, and then if you don't pay, they don't release, and they get rid of the person, and it's just business with them. That is just the business they're engaged in, which it's not a business I approve of course, but I'm beginning to think taking across the border. I think, you know, I went to that border. I'm not sure exactly what it takes to get into Mexico. Can you tell somebody, hey, just be quiet while we roll you across the border? I guess that's possible, you know. I don't know if you can kidnap somebody and take you across the border. I'm thinking they would go to the border. Yeah, so people are thinking she's possibly across the border. Cartel could have hired a local thug and it went bad. I think cartel or Russian mafia or some sort of criminal organization hiring someone to kidnap, that's probably the way they would have went. Because if you're a Chapo in the cartel or you're a lieutenant, you don't go do those jobs. What you do is you hire someone to do that job. So yeah, I just don't want. So I'm along the side of the freeway, and I really just don't want. Let me go up to the next exit. We'll read some more chat at the next exit, and then I'll take your guys' information, and we'll sign off at the next exit. I just don't want to sit here too long. A highway patrol pull over. Hey, you need any help, buddy? No, I don't need any help. But I did want to just, recap there for just a second. So we're back on the road. Yeah, I appreciate all the support, you guys. I'd never gone live before this Savannah Nancy Guthrie situation, and I had a YouTube channel. I've had a YouTube channel for a while, mostly sort of outdoor adventures, looking for cannibal giants in the desert, exploring ghost towns, just sort of the odd outdoor type of activities. And it's great, it's really great. But then when I came down here, I thought, you know what, let me try this live stream and let me get some input from people that are interested in the case. And it's really taken off, I mean, Mel streaming I think I was watching Mel stream my live search today, which is very interesting. And then I really enjoyed reading Mel's chat. I mean, these people are ruthless. It's a ruthless chat, which I really don't mind the humor. Whoops, that's not a good place to pull over. Hold on. Here we go. We'll get completely off the road. Nice and easy. There we go. There we go. Good, now we got a safe place to park. So, do you guys... Yeah, Tony Hawk, right? Yeah, I went down this ramp just like Tony Hawk. Take a drone to these areas would be fantastic, honestly. Like these houses that are these prison houses, these prison cell houses, fly a drone over, take a look from the backyard. That would be an interesting concept, because there's only so much you can do from the front yard on a motorcycle, Yeah, so back to the chat, you guys. People ask me, how old are you? What? That's okay. I'm really, I don't want to release that much personal information. So the stream went down for just a second, and if you guys can comment, is the stream still up? It's hard for me to tell, sorry. I'm not an expert at this. Yes or no, is the stream still up? Okay, yes, it's up. Fantastic. Thanks for that. So, right now, like I say, I'm back on my way back to Tucson. We searched the border. I'm going to concentrate on looking for the backpack because concentrate on looking for Nancy. But when I'm in that area, I'm going to look for the backpack. Tomorrow, probably the west side. Now, whether I'll be able to live stream from there or not, I'm not sure. Eventually, I'm going to have to get back to my normal life, which is not on the back of a motorcycle searching for missing persons. I wish I could do that full time, but you know, we all have responsibilities we have to meet. So, but I've gave it my best shot down here, you guys, and I want to thank everybody for all the support, all the kind words. It's been really encouraging. There's a good world out there, in spite of people taking people prisoner, which is just completely unacceptable, and we have to take care of this situation. You look sunburned. You know what? I think I am sunburned. I just out in this just for a short period of time. Take care, Jim. Thank you. You're welcome. I appreciate all of the kind words, you guys. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to sign off on the chat. I'm going to head back to probably meet up with JLR, and then set out a plan for tomorrow. Hopefully I can stream tomorrow, and then, but like I said, eventually I'm going to have to get back to normal life. But I appreciate everybody's support and appreciate you coming along for the ride today. And my email is in the description of my previous stream. I hate to say something like that, you know, I'll go look at my previous stream, look at the description, but it's in there somewhere. If you want, if you have a tip, if you have an idea, send it to me. Don't send any links or, you know, things to open. I don't want to download any viruses. It has to be just written in the description of the email, what you want to search, what your idea is. Just write it, no links. 'Cause I'm not going to click on any links. I'm sure, oh, here's this great link to this article, but I'm not going to click on any links. You can copy, paste me a picture. You do that, and I guarantee I'll read every email, and I respond. I respond to the email as well. Yeah, but anyway, end the chat, you guys. Going back on the road, and the main thing is find Nancy. America's grandmother. What is happening should not be happening. Okay, so thank you guys, and I appreciate all of the comments. I'm reading all of them. They're so kind. I'm really overwhelmed by the kindness. The kindness of the chat is just, I mean, you guys are amazing, especially my stream. I see other chats and there's just, you know, people are all over the place, but you guys here are just amazing. So, okay, I'm going to be back on the road. Love everybody. God bless you. Let's find Nancy together, okay? Have a great night.